What's going on, Detroit Lions fans? Hey, we're coming at you. We're coming at you, Week 10. It's been a very disappointing season so far. We're 3-5, not where we want to be. We're at the midpoint of the season, but hey, we're gonna still come at you with that positivity. We're gonna talk about the facts and what we know about our team. So this is the Roundtable, and before we get started, I'm just gonna start off talking with the panelists here. So Andrew, why don't you get started and say hello to the people in the chat?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Long time no talk, so I'm looking forward to talking a little bit of Lions football.
100%. Yeah, it's been a disappointing just year in general, even without being a Lions fan. But being a Lions fan, it's just been absolutely devastating. But JMO, man, what do you think about the year so far? And just saying hello to the people in the chat.
Man, what's good? What's good, everybody? Look, I want y'all to know this. We suck, but we get a win this week, and if we don't, Matt Patricia is gonna be disintegrated. So we need to be happy. I'm telling y'all, we lose to Washington. That boy is not making it back on the plane. So this is a great week. It's the NFL. We're gonna win some games. But at the end of the day, if we don't, oh man, I might really be smiling because I can't see him surviving the plane ride.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know what will happen if we lost to Washington last year, but that was without Stafford. And we were like, oh, I don't know, it's okay. David Blau didn't play so well, but it was the defense that let Dwayne Haskins look like a good quarterback. So I don't know how that
Haskins, who doesn't have a starting job. It's like we need a king letting the backups ball out. Look at Mr. Trubisky, bro. You look like Joe Montana versus us.
Right. Well, honestly, let's just get right into it. So, like we talked about, we're going to be facing Washington this week. So, I guess, what do you guys expect this week against Washington? What do you expect to see? JMO, why don't you start?
What do I expect to see? I expect to see an angry, pissed off team that's ready to take out his frustration on somebody. Exactly. That team should be Washington. I expect to see the Lions play a better football game defensively. I mean, they were terrible defensively the last 2 weeks. Honestly, I expect the offense to be better too, even without Hawkinson. I just expect the team to be a little bit better versus this team, and I do expect the team to be a little bit angry. So we'll see how the first half of this game goes.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I don't know if you guys saw Reggie Ragland's comments, but he was basically like, we need to just step on their throats. We need to get at them because the defense is just letting everybody down. And I agree with him. I think everybody will agree with him. The defense is not, we've been in games, we've had leads in many games, and we just can't stop the other team from scoring. And it's been disappointing all season. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they're mad, and I think that they're going to come out and put open up a can of whoop ass on Washington, if you know what I mean. But I don't think that means anything because it's a team we should beat. You know what I mean? So I want to see them do that against a divisional opponent or something. But Andrew, what do you think, and what do you expect from the Lions this week against Washington?
Yeah, I mean, I think our team is definitely more talented than the Redskins. They got some playmakers here and there, but I have the weirdest feeling in my stomach that's going to be a repeat of what's been happening. We start off hot, and then everything goes to shit in the second half, or there's one quarter where they literally put up 20 points against us. Because even last year when we played them, I mean, with Haskins, starting against us, this guy was missing throws left and right. And they were able to beat us on huge chunk plays. And that's what's killing us every single week is those huge chunk plays, 70-yard touchdown, 70-yard catch, 50-yard run. And that's what's going to happen again, I feel like, honestly. And they beefed up their defense. Chase freaking Young is literally demanding 3-man coverages of him already as a rookie. So I'm pretty worried. I'm not going to lie.
You're worried? Really?
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's I get it.
Washington's I'm not cocky, but this is a terrible team. I mean, they just lost to the Giants. I view this just like the Jacksonville game. This is a terrible team. I'm not going. We the Lions. I know how bad we are, but come on. I'm not afraid of this game. Now, if we lose, hey, the Lions have never ceased to amaze me. But
It's not
we'll be good enough to just beat this team.
But we lost to them last year, JMO. So I mean,
we lost to them by a point without Stafford. Come on.
Yeah, but okay, but honestly, the way that Stafford
and they were in Washington. And they were in Washington.
The way that Stafford's been playing and our defense has been playing, I mean, it seems like the results, if they took any kind of increase, you know, I feel like we're the same team as last year. So I don't know. You know,
I don't know.
I think they are going to come out mad, though, like you said, and I think they will come out and win. But as far as like, am I that confident? No, I'm not confident in the Lions at all to win any game at all, because they came out and lost to the Bears like they did. They lost, like, man, they just looked so like useless and just hopeless. They looked like the hope has been taken away from them, and they don't look like a fighting team to me, and it's disappointing.
And it's not Redskins I'm afraid of. It's the Lions that are.
You mean more football team, Andrew? Football.
No,
we keep calling them the Redskins, dog. But look, as much as like I was afraid of the Lions too, but I still expected them to beat Jacksonville. Like, this team ain't no better than Jacksonville, and obviously we're worse because no Kenny Gallaudets. But
JMO, they are better than Jacksonville, man. The Redskins front seven is actually very good. I'm not worried about them as a whole.
They got the same record, man.
Right? Hey, we all know record does not mean anything.
Record does mean something, man. They got one win. They can't even beat the Giants, bro. Come on, dog.
All right, man.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, that's going to take us into our next question, because, you know, JMO said we don't even have Gallaudets this game. So, and that's the truth. We have not looked good without Gallaudets. And, you know, that's just going to bring us into our next question. How does Gallaudets' absence impact the outlook of the rest of the season? JMO, why don't we start off with you, man?
Put it like this. Any team that's not Jacksonville or Washington or the Lions, it's going to be hard to win games. Put it like that. And looking at our schedule, we only got like 2 teams on our schedule like that, which is Washington and Houston. So it's going to be an uphill battle. But I just feel like, you know, we just got to use our players. I don't understand why you don't use Cephas more. And like the 2 little catches he got, he was great on. That's all he got though. So it's going to affect us a lot, man, because we see it, like the moment Gallaudets is out, the entire team plays worse.
Yeah, and I did like those couple catches from Cephas, but yeah, he's been not really been targeted since that first game where he had like all of those targets and dropped quite a few of them. But Andrew, man, what do you think? How does Gallaudets' absence, you know, affect the outlook of the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's big, man, especially if he's questionable all the time and not just designated as out. You know, we don't know how to game plan without our players. For some reason, they don't, you know, register that, oh, Gallaudets out. Well, let's beef up the passes towards Hockenson. Let's give Jones a couple more targets. Let's feed our other playmakers. Like, they don't know how to adjust. You know, you have Hockenson. Hockenson's a top tight end in the league. You have DeAndre Swift, who is a very young, talented, you know, runner. They don't do that. You know, they're going to probably feed AP the ball 25 freaking times because he played on the Redskins. And they're probably going to target Hall and Amendola a crap ton because this is what they do. They try and think smarter than everyone else instead of just taking advantage of what the defense is giving them and using the playmakers that they do have that are talented that can win those matchups. So it's going to make a big impact. I feel like our offense isn't going to click as much, you know, because our coaches don't know how to game plan without someone like Gallaudets.
Yeah, no, you brought up a really good point. And, you know, this past game when Gallaudets wasn't playing, I'm watching the game go on, and I'm waiting for them to target Hockenson and to target Marvin Jones. They're 2 best weapons outside of Kenny Gallaudets, and I just wasn't seeing it, you know, and I'm seeing them throw it to Marvin Hall. I'm seeing them throwing it to Danny Amendola and to Cephas. And then finally, I think it was like a minute left in the first quarter, the first target to, I think, Marvin Jones. And I'm like, well, how have you not targeted him at all? So, I don't know, but they better get involved. You're right, because I don't understand how they don't make them a priority when Gallaudets is out. That just seems like a very, very obvious thing to do. But yeah, I agree that you know, it's it very much affects the outlook of the rest of the season because it just looks like a grim season without him.
Yeah, man. With Gallaudets healthy, the Lions are 3-1. If he want to start like, and if he want to talk about Stafford's stats, so what was it? We 8 games in. So at this point, he was 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Right now, he's 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and Gallaudet's been out for 4 games. So I know for a fact if Gallaudets played all those games, his stats would be very similar to what it will be through 8-game season last year. It's just Gallaudets has missed 4 games. I'm not counting that Colts game, man. Come on, man. So, yeah, he's missed 4 games. So that's why Stafford play is down. That's why the offense is down. But Darrell Bevell,
I don't know if I buy that, man. So you're saying that the reason why Stafford's play is down is mainly because of Gallaudets?
Yeah. Look at Drew Brees without Michael Thomas.
Yeah, but Stafford has had not Gallaudets on his team. He's had no weapons on his team.
Yeah, okay, but
much
we
better
talking about
them.
the now. We living in the now.
Okay,
we gotta live in the now. We gotta live in reality.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get from you.
And when he doesn't have Gallaudets, he plays different. It's simple as that. And the numbers between Stafford's numbers go up when Gallaudets is playing.
Well, okay. Well, that was what I was trying to get from you. I think that we can all agree that Stafford is not the same player this year that he was even at the beginning of last year. Even whether Gallaudets is in or not. Okay. He hasn't looked as good. I don't know if I
think Darrell Bevell is the person who's changed. I think we've had injuries, and Stafford is the same because when Gallaudets is in there, he looks like normal when Darrell Bevell is not having brain damage.
See, there's
Darrell Bevell is the person to me that's really taking it down to.
I mean, you can go back to just this game, the first play of the game. What did they do? It was a shot down the seams to Marvin Hall. And Stafford underthrew him. And if you didn't underthrow him, it would have been a touchdown or at least a 70-yard gain. And there are plays like that we could point to. I don't have them on hand, but there's definitely plays this season that we could point to and say, that's not the Stafford I know. And it has nothing to do with Gallaudets being on the field or not.
I 100% agree, man. Like, I'm seeing Stafford underthrow people. I'm seeing Stafford
miss his targets, and you never see him miss targets like that.
We've seen him underthrow Marvin Hall before. Like, that's not something that's an anomaly.
Not this consistently. Come on.
Yeah. How many times he's underthrow Marvin Hall? What are you talking about?
Not just Marvin Hall. A lot of passes. Overthrow, underthrow. I think it's definitely Darrell Bevell. The Lions still lead the league in all drops, and Darrell Bevell has been terrible. Like, he's literally regret. You got TJ Hockenson way better than he is, and we don't even use him. So I don't think it's that at all.
Look, like I've said, man, Stafford has been that tight window type of guy his entire season, threading it through the needle. And I've seen him do it a couple times this season. But usually when I'm watching him, he's doing that multiple times a game. And he's doing that, like, these unbelievable throws that my mind can't even comprehend. Multiple times
the throws he threw versus Atlanta?
You know what? Atlanta was the closest. Yeah, that he did look like his old self.
Okay, come on, man. Yeah, we gotta stop, man. Like, the Gallaudets is out. Stafford isn't perfect, but to me, if Gallaudets was playing, like, you literally 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Gallaudets missed 4 games. When Gallaudets was playing, more touchdowns.
I think the point you're missing. The point you're missing though is, like, so if someone's running a slant route and he's open, what is the excuse there? What does it have to do with coaching? What does it have to do with Gallaudets being out? Like, if you're underthrowing someone on an open route, like, that's on Stafford.
Right.
Y'all act like Stafford was perfect last year. And that's my thing. Like,
he was much more perfect than he is now.
He threw 2 dumb interceptions versus the chart. He made those same mistakes because the numbers are a little bit better. It puts a cloud over our eyes. I saw him miss receivers last year too. So I don't know about that.
Maybe we're watching 2 different quarterbacks.
Man, my boy, the general view is putting them facts out. Putting them facts, man. Y'all better look at the chat, man. We lead the NFL in drop passes. We've seen Danny Amendola and Hockenson and Gallaudets drop passes that they normally catch.
But that's not what we're looking at. I'm talking about
it's the
things that I'm seeing him do. You know what I mean? I'm not even talking about statistics. You're the one throwing statistics out. I'm talking about,
because that's why you're seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah, but JMO, there's also stuff like him running into sacks, and just his pocket awareness has gone to shit this season. I don't know what's going on, but usually he's very slippery. He's able to get out of the pocket, scramble, make a play. Now he's like running into sacks. He's leaving a clean pocket. Like I've never seen him in his entire career do crap like this, you know? And like, yeah, he's done it once in a while.
You've never seen him in his entire career do crap like this.
Not this consistently. Not every single game. I see multiple things.
Did you watch Stafford play in 2014?
Yeah, it was not this bad.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Was that the year that he had the broken fingers and all that? I don't remember.
No, but I know I keep bringing it up. We're 11-5, and Stafford did not play good in 2014. Like he was worse than he was in 2018.
Okay, well, regardless how we feel about Stafford, okay, even if you don't feel like he's regressed at all, there are definitely people in the media, you know, I don't even want to say their names, but, you know, one of them's from 97 Won the Ticket, one of them is from the Detroit Free Press. If you guys are avid, you know, Lions fans, you guys probably know who I'm talking about. These guys get paid for their hateful opinions and to get, you know, emotions riled up from the fan base. And they have come out and said that it has been such a huge mistake that the Lions did not draft Tua or Justin Herbert with their third overall pick. So my question posed to you guys is this, man. So do you guys think the Lions made a mistake by not drafting a quarterback with the third overall pick in the draft? Andrew, let's start with you, bro.
I am losing it with this freaking question. Dude, I am seeing this all over. Oh, should have drafted Tua. And then people will mention Herbert too. I'm like, first of all, there's no way in hell the Lions were going to draft Herbert. Okay, that wasn't even on the board. The only scenario was we draft Tua, right? I personally said Herbert was going to be the best quarterback coming out of this draft, and I will stand by that even after this dude's career is over. But why the hell would we take Tua? Why should we have taken Tua? Tua hasn't even done crap in the league yet. Literally, they're like, oh, he won his first 2 games. Their defense and special teams have scored 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. 3 freaking touchdowns. He's not doing anything spectacular. He's not putting up Patrick Mahomes type numbers coming into the league. He's getting by each game, and his defense is holding him strong. Okay, cool. He's won a couple games. Their division is shit this year, whatever. It's not a big deal. Let's say we take Tua. Let's say we take Herbert, Tua, Burrow, whoever the hell you want out of this draft. Please tell me what this rookie quarterback is going to do. You took Burrow, number 1 overall pick, put him on a Bengals team that has multiple receivers, a ground game, and a decent defense. And what is he doing? Nothing. You take Justin Herbert, who is airing it the hell out over with the Chargers. What are they doing? Both of them are bottom of the league teams still. Why? Because you need a team around the quarterback. There's not a single quarterback that's going to come into our team and turn this franchise around. It is a systemic problem that is with our franchise.
But Andrew, what about for the future, man? Maybe not for this year, but what about the future? It's not like Stafford's going to be our quarterback forever. So if you draft Tua,
I'll answer that for you. Don't nobody care about the future when you're trying to win right now. like you talk about what about the future? We'll think about the future when like if Stafford's re-signed, when Stafford's 34 or 35, and we're like, okay, let's get Jordan Love. But ain't nobody thinking about no damn future with this defense we had from last year. Like that defense was so terrible last year. Like quarterback was like bottom on the list, and none of these QB. It wasn't like it was a Trevor Lawrence or something.
Right.
So
let me add to this real quick. So you want to talk about the future, right? There are multiple quarterbacks that went into a really shitty offense, really shitty team that their career is over now because of what happened. A prime example, let's say you go ahead and you draft an Andrew frickin' Luck. Phenomenal quarterback. Could have been one of the all-time greats. But your offensive line is so damn bad that he takes so much abuse that he's literally out of the league now because of how many injuries he's had. What do you think is going to happen with a Lions quarterback? The guy would be out within his rookie contract won't even finish before this dude is already out. So I would rather build a team.
I've already said that plenty of times. Like, especially about Andrew Luck. Stafford's been sacked 50 more times since Luck been in the league. Not since he been drafted, since Luck been in the league. He been sacked 50 more times. This guy was injured his first 2 years, and now he's been an Ironman, but that's just rare. You're not going to be able to stay upright with all these injuries, man.
Look, there's so many examples I can give you. You know, I don't care what the rookie quarterbacks are doing. Look at the last 5 years. How many rookie quarterbacks have come in and turn their team around. Even the Texans just traded everyone and got rid of everyone, and they have a really good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have a team. You know, the Titans, they had everything besides a quarterback. They freaking got Ryan Tannehill, and now it elevated them. Ryan Tannehill is not amazing by any means. He's a really good quarterback, but it's the fact that they had a run game. They had an offensive line. They had a couple playmakers that, you could throw to. They had a good defense, and you added a quarterback to bring it all together, and then their team went. Same thing with Peyton Manning and the Broncos. The Broncos had every single piece besides a quarterback. You plug in Peyton Manning, they went to Super Bowl. This shit is so stupid where you try and plug in a quarterback into a bad team. It should be you have a good team, and then you plug in a quarterback. It's dumb.
But when would you want us to finally get the heir apparent to Stafford? Because my question is, when are we going to have another opportunity to have a third overall pick?
Oh, we'll have plenty of opportunities.
Very optimistic, J-Mo. I appreciate that.
Optimistic. I can't believe you said that. Like, we're going to have another third overall pick. Come on, like, real, stop it. Like,
when was the last time we had a third overall pick?
Even if we lose Stafford,
bro.
My thing is, even if we lose Stafford for nothing, we won't have a problem going 0-16 and getting the next Trevor Lawrence. That's what I don't understand with Lions fans. Y'all act like we won't be trash enough to get another quarterback that we gonna ruin. Like, we'll be trash enough. Don't worry about it. The moment Stafford's not on the team, we going 2-14.
Yeah, we're gonna be trash enough because we're not taking a quarterback like Tua.
No, like I said, we'll have the first overall pick, so I'm pretty sure we'll get a quarterback of that caliber. And I don't think Tua. I love Tua, but I don't think he's like the end all be all. You know.
Look, I want to read a list to you guys, okay? Because everyone wants us to draft a first-round quarterback. I want to read you a list of the quarterbacks taken in the first round in the past 10 years. And I want you to name me how many were successful or still even in the league.
Dude, but nobody's talking about first-round quarterbacks. That's not what we're talking about.
But, dude,
okay, you know, you're talking about Tua. I've always said that
I'm talking about a quarterback taken in the top 5 of the draft. Top 5 of the draft. If you look at those quarterbacks, hey, if you think of the best generational quarterbacks, you know, we talked about them: Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, Matt Stafford when he was drafted. They are the bona fide number one guys, right? So, you know, this time it's going to be Trevor Lawrence, it seems like. So you know,
I want to rebuttal that.
I have a problem getting that guy.
Hold on. I want to rebuttal that real quick. You're talking about top 5 quarterback, even top 3. These are the ones in the last 10 years. Cam Newton, I mean, he's literally with the Patriots sucking ass. Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin, Blake Bortles, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, Winston Goff, Mitchell Trubisky, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and then, you know, Tua and Burrow. Bro, the majority of these guys suck. Or they're average, you know? Like, I
mean, I don't know if that's fair to say. Cam Newton was the MVP. He got injured a lot, and he's not the same player. Robert Griffin looked amazing. What do you mean, why did he get hurt a lot?
Because their offensive line blows ass.
Right, but he took him to the Super Bowl, and he was MVP, so it's not like he was a bust of a pick.
That's true, but I'm saying overall,
he's not a bust, he wasn't able to do. I think that's the point he's making. No quarterback has really been. I think only Peyton Manning is like the only quarterback to go to a bad team and take them to a Super Bowl and win it. Like, it just literally doesn't happen. And it took Peyton Manning like what, forever to do that.
Right? Yeah. Forever. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, my big point is that even it doesn't matter what spot they're taking, dude. Those top 3 draft picks, they literally are not doing crap. You know, you have Mayfield and Sam Darnold. You know, Josh Allen was, you know, he was a good pick, but he's 7th. You never know what you're gonna get. You know, so it kills me when people are like, you got to take a quarterback in the first round. You know, blah blah blah, and then you have to have a high pick. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, that's freaking awesome. Would I love Trevor Lawrence? Yeah, but like, I hate when people say you have to take a quarterback in the first round.
No, my thing is just like, if Trevor Lawrence, I won't even say his career is like Stafford. Let's just say he doesn't win a Super Bowl and he's 13th year in the league and he's lived up to the hype. Are we going to be like, well, he wasn't that guy? Like, that's just what happens when you go to the Jets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Yeah,
when you go to the Lions, when you go to the Browns, even though Baker Mayfield, but when you go to the Bengals, like, yeah, it's going to be hard to win something. And when you see all these other teams, Russell Wilson drafted in the 3rd round, great team. Colin Kaepernick, same thing happened. Lamar drafted at the end of the 3rd round, but he was able to sit.
Under the first round, but yeah.
End of the first round, end of the third. Patrick Mahomes, he was drafted, but he was able to sit. But when you look at Kyler Murray, they were trash until they got good. So, and they're still good now, but are they going to win a Super Bowl? Who knows? Like, and if they don't win a Super Bowl, is Kyler Murray a bust now? Hell no. You see him play? And I just feel like when you take these trash quarterbacks and put them on these trash teams, it's just better to draft defense first. That's just me. Because Jimmy G went to a Super Bowl.
Right. Let that sink in. Let it Nick Foles and Joe Flacco and Eli Manning. Like, dude, the repetitive nature of this is you don't need a quarterback to win you games. You need a dominant defense and you freaking need a run game. You know, like the Steelers last year won 8 games without Big Ben. Their quarterback play was literally bottom of the league. God awful. But their defense was so dominant that it was able to win them 8 freaking games. We have Stafford. We're not able to win 8 games right now. You know, it doesn't matter how good your quarterback play is if your defense cannot get it done. You know, so until we get a good defense, we're not going to be successful. You know, Green Bay is always going to be in our freaking division. The Bears will somehow do something, and so will the freaking Vikings. You know, like we're not in an easy division where, yeah, there's only one team to compete against, or we're in the NFC. Oh, Jesus Christ, the
East.
NFC.
Oh
East,
my God.
yeah, where you have a 3-5 team, a 3-4-1 team, and they're literally winning the division. That will never happen. We're in one of the most dominant divisions, and you have to have a dominant team all around. And that's even just to make a wild card spot. So it just it's ridiculous.
I see General G Ray say it took John Elway a minute too. No, John Elway, no, he went to 3 Super Bowls. Put some respect, but he ain't win shit until we got what we begging. No, he didn't win shit until he got what we begging for Stafford to have, a run game. That's all I'm saying. He went to 3 Super Bowls, didn't win nothing until he got a running back. But it is what it is. But no,
Right.
it's hard for quarterbacks to win by themselves. Like I always, go in on Aaron Rodgers for being overrated because I think he is. But I mean, besides that 1 year, like what he's gonna do on Green Bay? Even though he's been choking, but you see what I'm saying? Like besides that 1 year where the defense got like 7 interceptions in the playoffs and broke the record, what are you gonna be able to do? Like if Mahomes' team falls apart after this year, what is he gonna be able to do over there?
Right.
I mean, the hard part too is like people tend to forget the average length of a career in the NFL is only a couple of years. A lot of people don't even make it past rookie contracts, whatever. So when you see a quarterback that has been on a starting team for the same team for like 10 plus years, that is not their problem. If they don't have success, it's because their GM, their franchise is not able to put a team around them. Philip Rivers should have won a Super Bowl. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. The dude literally had a good team like 1 or 2 years out of his entire career, and then he like tore his ACL in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like even Matt Ryan is a talented quarterback. They are always missing something. You know, they finally went to Super Bowl. They had a good team, and they freaking blew it. So those players that can last that long, it's not them. And we have Stafford. Stafford is one of those quarterbacks in that category. He has another year or 2, whatever, before we have to get rid of him based off contract stuff, whatever. Use him. Try and give him a freaking defense for once. You know, you got a good offensive line set up so far. You got some playmakers on the offense side of the ball. You got run game, whatever. Give him a freaking defense so he doesn't have to put up 40 points to win. And then let's talk.
I do think Philip Rivers just has some very good teams, though.
Yeah,
and I do feel like the Chargers, I mean, they tried. And I'm not talking about last year, but the year before last, they gave Philip Rivers everything. They went 12-4, and they couldn't get it done. And that's just, to me, I would rather that happen than us doing something stupid. You know, at least give Stafford that loaded team. If we win a playoff game, get bounced out, you want to move on, draft Justin Herbert, cool. But with Rivers, they at least gave him one more great team. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Before they fell apart, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, and it is tough, and especially like in a division like ours, it's going to be really hard to win. But I do want to shout out everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys are loyal Lions fans. I appreciate you guys so much. General View, D-Town Diplomat, Izzy777, DMAP Zoom, and did I miss anybody? I think that's literally it. Yeah, you guys are awesome, man. This season has been such a disappointment, but there's one bright spot on our team, and that's the special teams, man. With what we've done with Jack Fox coming in and taking over Sam Martin's job, very seamless transition, and he's looking like the greatest punter of all time. And then on the other side of the special teams, us blocking 3 punts in 2 weeks, man, that's an accomplishment. I don't care if people say it's it's a throwaway statistic because it's so rare. No, that is awesome. And I think that that special teams coach Braden Coombs, man, is that how you say his name? Yeah, I think so. He is being looked at right now, according to, I think it was ESPN that shared this, that people are looking at him for possibly a head coaching position or maybe a coach to look at as his career progresses. But my question is to you guys, do you think that teams will pursue Braden Coombs as a head coach? And do you think the Lions should consider him for head coach? J-Mo, why don't we start with you, man?
Yes, and I know Luke they will disagree when he listens back, but yes and yes. I like Braden Coombs, man, even for head coach. Yes, I love it. Just like JGB says, the next John Harbaugh, who knows? But my thing is I'm trying to hold on to him for dear life, and I'm very impressed because last year the Lions were the 6th best special teams. Like, we were very good in special teams last year, so I'm like, why would we were 6th? That wasn't good enough, and we were like, nah, we want to be number 1. So Matt Prater apparently left his skills at home, but we ain't gonna go talk about that.
Oh my god!
But even with Matt Prater playing like he's playing, Agnew's been great when when he's healthy. What's his name? Miles Killebrew is such a stud on special teams. So is Jalen Reeves-Maven. They've been great at tackling, and Jack Fox is the best punter in NFL history. The Lions always get the best special teamer in NFL history. Like, I don't know why, but like we always end up with that guy. But I think special teams is carrying us, and he's going to continue to carry us in ways that we don't necessarily see. Like, if Prater was making all of his kicks, like, we would be in a much better situation. So that's the thing. But I think, I'm very interested. That's why I really want to fire Patricia so I can see if this guy's a good coach or not. Because I'm very interested in this, and I want him to stay on the Lions. I would do whatever to keep him on this team because he's the one coach that we know that guy's great at what he does.
Okay, all right. So you're saying if after the season Patricia's fired, Bob Quinn's fired, you'd be cool with them choosing Coombs to be the head coach?
I know. I would rather them give him a chance now. So fire Patricia now and let's see what he does as an intern. Like I said, I know Luke is like, hell no, but I'm like, I don't know. I like this guy. I think, put it like this, I think some team gonna sign him as a head coach and he's gonna be great and we gonna pass on him. That's why I want to give him a chance.
Okay, all right. I think Luke is scared that we'll fire Patricia and then Coombs will go like 500 and then we'll stay with Coombs and be mediocre for a while. I think that's
Luke's. But what if Coombs but see, it doesn't happen often, but I'm telling you, sometimes these guys come in and they take you to the promised land. So, what if the next season with Coombs, what if we great,
Yeah, I'm with it. Andrew, what about you, man? You think teams are going to pursue Coombs for a head coaching position, and also, do you think that the Lions should do it?
Yeah, my first thought is I can't think of a single team that's ever hired one of our coordinators and made them head coach. I've never. I mean, even Terrell Austin, who had a really good tenure with us, he couldn't even get a head coaching job. So I don't think that'll happen. I personally am 100% with JMO. I think that I am personally a little nervous to make him a head coach, just being like, yep, you're going to have the reins starting next year. Here you go. I would love to see how he does as an intern real quick, because you're kind of thrown into the fire. What can you do? Show me, what, your mindset, your scheme, whatever. I want to see how he handles things. And then, if he does really well, shit. Let's see it next year. And if he doesn't do well, then cool. He was an intern. You had him for a year. Then you actually go get a sought-after coordinator. But I would not mind it. I'm personally someone that, I like a defensive coordinator as a head coach. Special teams I feel like it's rare to have a special teams coordinator end up being your head coach.
I think it's only like
Harbaugh.
Guy.
Yeah, I know it's Harbaugh, and he's a phenomenal coach. But, I don't know. So I'm a little iffy on that too, So I wouldn't mind it. I would love to see him as an intern and just take over after this week because obviously Patricia's still there.
Yeah. Like my thing is, if he's not an intern first, hell no. Like, I'm not gonna just give him the job. You know, I'm not just gonna give him the job in the offseason. I'm gonna go after the best guy. But if he's an intern and like we do well, I just want to see how the team look. Like, I know that sounds funny, but how do we play football with a new guy? Because you saw what happened with Houston and even Atlanta. They started winning games as soon as they got rid of, you know, the old guy. And but if we go through the whole season with Patricia, then no, I'm not gonna hire a qualified special teams coordinator who's never done anything. But if he can, because my thing is this, maybe it's wishful thinking. I just feel like all you got to do is not be stupid, and you can win games with this team. And I feel like he's the one guy that isn't stupid. So that's why I feel like we can win games.
I mean, how I look at it, like when I'm watching our special teams, man, I'm like, man, I expect the whole field to flip, pin them down in a good spot for us. And I'm seeing everything that you expect out of your special teams. And for me, like I'm watching, I'm like, dude, this guy's getting everything out of these guys. I mean, they're not missing tackles. They're making great plays, you know, great field position, everything. I'm like,
they're fired up.
Yeah, they're super freaking hyped. And then you watch the defense get on the field.
Man, they playing so good. I need no, hey, the defense give up an 80-yard drive every time.
Yeah, dude, I forgot what team it was, but I'm not joking. The team had more success when they started within, what was it, like their own 10-yard line than when we gave them like at their 25-yard line to start their drives. They literally were driving
Atlanta.
I think so. It was one of the teams that I was just like, Jesus Christ. Every single time we pinned them within the 10, they were getting 90-yard drives. And I was like, how does that happen? How do you pin someone within the 10 and they have a higher success rate of scoring?
No, man,
that's unheard of.
Our special team's been playing so well, and I'm not just living in the moment, but Miles Killebrew and Jalen Ruiz-Maven need some snaps. They got speed, they got explosiveness, and that's something that we don't know exists. Put them on the squad. I need to see Jalen Ruiz-Maven because I know he can tackle and he ain't slow. So,
right.
I've always loved him too, and I've always liked Killebrew, but I don't know why they're not using.
I'd put Killebrew in instead of freaking Will Harris any day.
He's better than Will Harris. He's 100%. Better than Will Harris. That's
Dude, do you guys remember when we used to do those 3 safety sets and Killebrew was that third safety? Our defense was literally top 10 in the league during those times, and then they're like, "Nah, you're just a special teamer." What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was wild. All right, guys, we're about to get into the main event. All right. All 10 of you in this chat right now are about to get a treat, okay? And it's going to get heated here real quick. So what I have right here are the top paid wide receivers because Kenny Gallaudets is obviously asking for top money in the league, as he deserves, okay? And he's obviously going to want probably more than $18 million a year on his contract. And these are all of the receivers that make over $18 million a year over the course of their contract. And this is actually in order. So I'm just going to name them real quick. DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Michael Thomas, AJ Green, Tyreek Hill, and Odell Beckham. So my first question is, where would you rank Kenny Gallaudets among these players? Like, where would you want him? If you got to pick any of these players, where would you rank him? Andrew, let's start off with you, man.
When you're saying where would I rank him, or you're just saying like based off skill?
I'm saying no. Let me answer J-Mo. I was my question.
I was gonna let him know what you said.
Yeah. Basically, who would you want on your team? If you're building a team, you have a quarterback, you have whatever. What wide receiver would you pick from this list over what other wide receivers? How would you rank them?
Oh, okay. So, I mean, D-Hop, number 1. The dude's phenomenal, super young, whatever. Julio is the best overall wide receiver, but he's older. He's getting hurt too much. Keenan Allen's phenomenal. He's banged up here and there. Amari Cooper, I don't really care about. AJ Green, I don't really care about. Odell Beckham. All 3 of those guys need to go take a seat because no, just literally no. Mike Thomas is good, dude, but he's turning into an Antonio Brown. Like, the dude's punching his own teammates in the face, not being able to play games. So that drops him significantly for me. You know, I don't need that on my team. The only players here, given their age and their talent and everything, not their contract, just their production and off the field issues, whatever, that I would take over Gallaudets is D-Hop and probably Tyreek Hill. D-Hop and probably Tyreek Hill are the only two. Mike Thomas is a phenomenal athlete, but like I said, the dude's starting to turn into AB, and I don't need none of that on my team. And then Keenan Allen, he's a little bit older and he's a little bit injury prone, but I feel like him and Gallaudets are around the same skill level. So
okay, so you'd rank Gallaudets like top 4 receiver in the whole league. You're saying then?
Yeah, based off this list you just put in front of me.
I mean, this is the list. I mean, it's not. I didn't pay these receivers.
I mean, no, not necessarily. People could debate who, like AJ Green's up here, so like I know,
but this is the paid list.
Like
though.
I don't
isn't
see
like
Mike Evans.
This is the paid list,
right? This is the paid list. Yeah, but this like you said,
yeah.
Okay, so JMO, where would you rank Kenny Gallaudets on this list?
So, well, the way I look at it is, in my opinion, I don't really think it's an opinion. I think the stats actually back this up. Kenny Gallaudets is the best in the league at what he does, making contested catches. So then I look at this list and see who is the best in the league at what they do. Tyreek Hill is clearly the best in the league at what he does. Julio Jones is Julio Jones, so he's the best at being all around. And D-Hop, to me, is the best route runner in NFL. On top of that, has top 3 hands in the NFL and still has speed, and he has great yards after the catch. So he's the best at, I guess, being an all-around type of guy, too. Then you look at Michael Thomas. He's the best at, catching slants, I guess. Amari Cooper is like
you're a clown, dog.
Hey, is he not the best at catching slants? Or
that's as far as Drew Brees can throw. That's why, bro.
Shut your mouth. Don't be bashing Brees like that.
I'm taking him over Amari Cooper. Just like I say, don't even mention Amari Cooper. Man, Amari Cooper is so overrated to me. He's always been that way. AJ Green, he's just a little bit older and injury prone. Odell, I love him to death, but he done got injured way too many times, so he's done. I don't think he'll ever be the same guy. So yeah, it's at DeAndre, Julio, Kenny Gallaudets, and I'm just taking him over Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's a little bit older, and like I said, man, Gallaudets the best in the league at what he do. So I take that into account when evaluating receivers. Like, you get certain receivers for certain reasons. Like, if you were to sign Golden Tate in his prime, you were signing him because he's the best in the league at yards after catch. So I take that into account.
But he was never $20 million a year, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he was a stud receiver. That's not what I was saying.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is both you guys are going to rank Kenny Gallaudets in the top 5, right? Like, whether it's 4 or 5.
Based on this list. Yeah, based on this list.
Right. Well, I mean, okay, is there other receivers you'd throw in there?
100%. Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson.
Yeah,
Mike
Devontae Adams and Mike Evans, I would take out and put over AJ.
Okay, what receivers of them would you put above Kenny Gallaudets in that case? Would you put Adams maybe?
100% above Gallaudets.
Yeah, Adams.
Allen Robinson and Gallaudets, I don't care what anyone says, they're around the same level.
Yeah,
I'm not a Bears fan, but Allen Robinson is a dog.
But it's cool. D-Hop, Julio, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and probably Mike Evans I'll put over Gallaudets. That'd be it. Like,
okay.
All right. Respect for Kenny Name.
No. I'm not saying anything. I'm getting to my question.
Put some respect, bro.
So basically, we know how contracts work. Once it's your time, to be the next man up, you usually become the highest paid in your position or close to it, right? So you guys just ranked of the top paid receivers. You ranked him already top 4. So let's say he gets top 4 money. He's making $20 million a year. So here's gonna be the fun. All right, JMO, you paying him?
Man, did you see us play on Sunday? I got 2 questions for you. Did you see us play on Sunday?
I did.
Did you see us play the week before?
I did, yeah.
Yes, I'm paying him. I don't have that's my argument. Go watch those last 2 games. I didn't want to pay him, but I'm gonna have to. He gonna have to get paid, bro. He gonna have to get paid.
Okay, well, let me throw this at you, JMO. Just a little pushback before I get to Andrew, because I know how Andrew already stands on this.
Well, of course we know.
Of these players, really, okay, so two of them have made a Super Bowl, and Tyreek Hill made it before he hit his contract, so really, he doesn't really count. So Julio Jones is really the only player that was a top paid wide receiver that the team was allocating almost $20 million to, that they were able to make the playoff or make the championship. Does that concern you at all to pay that kind of position, that kind of money, given that information, JMO?
Nope, we had Calvin Johnson. So
and we didn't make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with him. That our team was better with him on it. So
but
end of the day, to me, that making the Super Bowl, you talking about the Lions and making the Super Bowl, like stop it. Like we're not gonna do it without a guy like Gallaudets. And when I look at this list,
so wait, is your goal not to win a Super Bowl with the Lions? I'm confused.
I don't think paying Gallaudets is gonna keep us from winning a Super Bowl.
I mean,
simple as that. Like Julio Jones was supposed to be a Super Bowl winner, but Matt Ryan's a choker. D-Hop, can't blame him. Antonio Brown, like the Steelers choked to the
there's a separation though is in what you're saying and what I'm saying. I'm not questioning their talent. I'm not questioning them as a receiver. I'm questioning, because this is a hard cap league, the fact that we had to pay Calvin Johnson all that money and had to let go of Sue for that reason. It did affect us. And then Calvin Johnson, even if he didn't retire, our offense was looking spectacular with him on it. No doubt. He definitely made our team better. But did he make it better than us maybe spending that money elsewhere? I don't know. That's debatable. So Andrew,
after he left, we didn't get any better. Like we didn't win 11 games. And that's just the way, like, paying Gallaudets, trust me, that's not going to be the reason we don't win a Super Bowl. Trust me on that.
I mean, I trust you. There's many reasons why we're not going to win a Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, the goal is to win the.
You can pay Trey Flowers $90 million and be okay with that, and he can be Trey Flowers. But the moment you want to play a skill player like Gallaudets, people be having heart attacks, and we know Trey Flowers is at the premium position. But we paid that man $90 million, dog, to do what?
But you've seen many teams win the Super Bowl paying defensive ends $90 million. You've seen many teams do that.
Not a team of not a guy of Trey Flowers caliber. No offense to Trey Flowers, but it's usually Chris Jones, Frank Clark.
Right. Of course. Well, that we expected that type of performance, and we haven't gotten it so far. But that's definitely the expectation when he signs.
I don't know. Nobody thought Trey Flowers was Chris Jones, Frank Clark type of level. We knew he was a very, very good.
I absolutely did, because he was leading the league in pressures each season.
Okay, man.
He was with the Patriots. He was leading the league in pressures. So we assume.
I don't know about that.
He was absolutely, because that was the biggest problem. He didn't have the number of sacks. So that was the question. Why are we paying so much for a guy that can't even get double-digit sacks? And they were saying that the reason was because he's getting the pressures. He's just being double teamed, and he needed another player to clean up afterwards.
My point is, you'd rather do that on a guy with all of that, instead of paying it to Kenny Gallaudets.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now that we know Trey Flowers, what he does bring to the table. No, I would not.
But we knew he was never worth that amount of money.
Well, I don't know who says that, but he definitely was when we signed him. I mean, he had the stats to prove it. He was a Pro Bowler.
He definitely overpaid him.
Yeah, you could say that now with hindsight.
No, we were saying that at the time of the deal, he was overpaid.
No, I wasn't. That's not overpaid for a defensive end that you expect to get double-digit sacks. So
how can you expect him to do something he's never done before?
Because, like I said, because he had the pressures there, but the sacks wasn't coming up. It's just like Darius Slay when he didn't expect
him to get double-digit sacks. But you're talking about pressures. You didn't expect the sacks. You expect
no. It's a similar situation to a cornerback. Okay, so when Darius Slay was getting all of those passes defended, but he didn't have that many interceptions, everybody knew the interceptions would come. Like those are just one play, and they show up large on the stat sheet. But when you're getting that many passes defended, you're probably going to get an interception. Same with the pressures. If you're pressuring the quarterback and you're affecting his play, you're probably going to get a sack, sooner or later. It just hasn't fallen your way yet.
I just don't nobody thought Trey Flowers was as good as you trying to act like he was. Like, stop it, man.
Okay, man.
Like, come on.
He was a Pro Bowl defensive end. Pro Bowl defensive ends get paid $90 million. That's a fact. The type of wide receivers that get paid $90 million are the best of the best.
Wouldn't have got paid that much money anywhere but the Detroit Lions.
That might be a fact, but it doesn't matter. Any other Pro Bowl defensive end does make that type of money anywhere. That's a fact.
No, first of all, just making a Pro Bowl don't just get you a contract. And hasn't made a Pro Bowl. I'm looking it up. So yeah, man, I love Trey Flowers, but like paying him $90 million was unwarranted, and we only gave him that because of the position. But a wide receiver that's going to affect winning more, we get upset about paying them what they deserve. And to me, that's just the whole point.
So I gotta jump in because I've been quiet. So JGB makes up a great point. You want to bring up how our offense has been without Gallaudets, but look how bad our run defense has been without Trey Flowers. I mean, look what Cook did to us.
But what did Cook do to us last year? Wasn't Trey Flowers there?
Dude, he did not run for no 200-something yards and multiple
scores. Yes, he did, bro. He had like 3-4 touchdowns in that game, man. Like it was the same.
All right.
Well, Andrew, I'm posing the same question to you anyway. So, do you feel that would you pay that much money, and are you comfortable allocating that much money to a position like this, given that the information that no team besides Julio Jones made a Super Bowl appearance while paying that much money to a receiver?
Look, I mean, me and J-Mo disagree on this. Obviously it's opinions, but for me, I'm going to think of it as a business standpoint. I'm not going to think of it as a fan. I love Gallaudets, and I love what he does for our team. But from a standpoint of I'm looking for the future, I'm looking for our team success, because this is a freaking team game. That is not a smart plan. You look at these teams. What has A.J. Green done since he got paid? What did Odell do? Amari Cooper? What are these guys doing? Like, yeah, they're talented. They help their team out. But you allocate $1 million to a wide receiver, what happens to your defense? We already saw this. We literally lived through this already with Calvin Johnson. You had Stafford paid, you had Johnson paid, and you had Sue paid. We couldn't bring in anybody. Our team was crap. We literally couldn't do anything. And then once they left, we had dead money. We had this. We're still in cap hell. Like, it's a freaking problem that we can't handle. We can't deal with. And there's so many young, talented wide receivers coming into the league every single year that it would be stupid to invest $100 million into one player. This isn't a defensive end. This isn't a lineman. This is a wide receiver. You already invested a first-round pick in Hawkinson. You invested a second-round pick in DeAndre Swift. You have a good offensive line. You do not need to invest $100 million into a wide receiver when you can go get cheap ones in free agency that have worked. We got Golden Tate. We got Marvin Jones. We've done this repeatedly, and they've produced. Go get a wide receiver in the draft. Go do what you got to do. Bring in a couple free agents, whatever, and your team is fine. Utilize Hawkinson more, and you don't freaking need Gallaudets as much as people think you do. Then you can invest into the defense. It's all about team success. Even we talked about it. What's a quarterback going to do? What is Gallaudets going to do? He's not going to single-handedly change our team, and $100 million is supposed to make a significant impact on your team. And yeah, you brought up Trey Flowers, whatever. He's doing okay. Don't get me wrong. He hasn't lived up to exactly the hype everyone wanted him to. He's not a freaking Von Miller, anyone like that. But you cannot allocate $100 million to a receiver because it bewilders the rest of your team. And I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do it again. And Gallaudets is not nearly as good as a Calvin Johnson or a Julio Jones in their prime when they got those contracts. And they still, as a team, didn't do crap. Julio Jones, phenomenal receiver. They went to Super Bowl, but their defense, they drafted like crazy. They drafted multiple Pro Bowlers on defense. Their offensive line was top 5 in the league. They had Matt Ryan. They had everything clicking for them. Do you expect us to give Gallaudets $100 million and then draft extremely well? I don't. I've never seen that in my life. There's so many players we've passed up on because we're stupid. Okay, so I don't want to invest that much money in a spot that is not as relevant as a different part of our team. So I'm straight.
Like all I know is Lions 3-1 with Kenny Gallaudets, 0-5 without, 0-4 without. And it's about what the player means to your team. Maybe to some other team, paying Kenny Gallaudets will be different, but to our team, he's literally affecting the win column. And I'll say this again: we drafted him, but he's the best in the league at what he does. Like, if this was Tyreek Hill, I'm giving him $20 million. This DeAndre Hopkins, I'm giving him $20 million. This Julio Jones, I'm giving them $20 million because they're the best in the league at what they do, and they affect the actual win column. Like, I've never thought that losing Gallaudets would affect us like this, but losing Calvin Johnson it didn't affect us nearly as much as losing Gallaudets right now. And that's just the facts. I don't know how, but that's just what the reality is right now. And when you draft a guy, and he's
I mean,
you have to pay him.
Look, I mean, saying that losing Gallaudets affected us more than Calvin Johnson, just because you're only looking at the highest level of statistics, which is the win record. Like, you're really going to say that we lost to Minnesota because we didn't have Gallaudets? No. Dalvin Cook ran all over us.
But see, I'm saying the game isn't unwinnable if we have Gallaudets. It's a difference.
I don't think the game's unwinnable even if Gallaudets is not there. If we're utilizing Hockenson and Marvin Jones, I think the game's just as winnable as if Kenny Gallaudets is there.
Yeah, even more with Gallaudets on the field, though.
Yeah, it is even more, but $100 million worth to me, I don't know. Maybe, maybe, I don't know. But it also goes into effect that, or at least in my estimation, it goes, look, we're probably not going to have Patricia next season, and we're probably going to bring in a new coach that wants his new regime and whatever, and it's probably going to be a brand new GM as well. Why would our GM right now pay $100 million and lock this guy down for so long, given that it's a hot seat year and they don't even know if they're going to have their jobs for the next year?
Because, like I said that before, he's the one staple and consistent player you should have on his team. What do you call it? The Panthers. They signed Christian McCaffrey to that crazy, ridiculous deal, and they didn't really have a football team. They did it because he's the franchise player of the team after they got rid of Cam Newton. And right now, I think it's the same with Gallaudets. No matter what happens with this team or with this regime, you need Gallaudets there as a staple for that young quarterback. It's a reason that Arizona had to go trade for DeAndre Hopkins so they can get.
I'm so sorry, bro, but that Christian McCaffrey thing, I love Christian McCaffrey. He's a dog. But you know what they did without him? Mike Davis was playing at an elite level, a 28-year-old running back at an elite level.
And I'm going to put it simple.
He got cut by the Bears, bro, and he was producing like crazy.
If they had Christian McCaffrey, would they have more wins for the whole season?
But is it a game changer that's going to take him to the Super Bowl?
Christian McCaffrey not a game changer?
Is he going to take him to the Super Bowl? Maybe.
Nope.
No one player can take a team to a Super Bowl, but he's the staple that will help them to get as close as possible they possibly can. Now, because you got him, you can just throw a Teddy Bridgewater in there and just say, just get a ball to McCaffrey. McCaffrey finally came back, had 150 total yards and 2 touchdowns already. So
what he was saying was Mike Davis was doing a close estimation of that with way less money.
Coverage, though.
Right.
You guard Mike Davis differently. You defend him differently because he's a regular running back. Christian McCaffrey is a running back that like how you got to defend Alvin Kamara. Like he messes up the entire defense with the way that you defend him.
I mean, that's facts. That's 100% facts. You definitely have to scheme for a great player like that. Gallaudets, 100%. They definitely scheme for Gallaudets. He's the guy to look at for sure. But does it affect it in the way that $100 million needs to affect it? Because you're taking that money away from other areas.
If they don't got Christian McCaffrey, they don't have a chance of winning anything.
They don't have a chance of winning even with Christian McCaffrey. They don't have they don't even have 1% chance of winning. Even with Christian McCaffrey, with this team that they have.
You're a clown, bro.
I definitely come on.
I don't know. But honestly, that's all we have for you guys today. Is there any questions that you guys saw in the chat? This was a really great show. It was fun to, go on this little debate that we had about Kenny Gallaudets. I knew it was going to get fun. As soon as I knew that JMO and Andrew were going to be in this chat, I knew I had to ask that question.
Dude, I was reading who was in the going to be in the roundtable. And then I was looking at your questions. I'm like, bro, you're totally baiting me.
I'll probably talk about TJ, man.
So Lee Bender mentioned is the $100 million is what Gallaudets is asking. We don't know, but he's asking for money, and typically, with wide receivers, cornerbacks, DNs, whatever, it usually is whoever's the highest. Jesus Christ, whoever's the free agent at the time and they're producing, they usually get paid, the groundbreaking contract. Like Justin Coleman broke the market for a freaking nickel cornerback, and every single, like Amari Cooper got paid like crazy. Like, dude, Amari Cooper ain't nothing compared to a Julio or someone. So
yeah, Amari got $100 million.
That's my thing. That's why I think we differ a little bit. I don't think those players deserve that money. I've already named you the other receivers I would have paid $20 million. And of course, Odell with no injuries, I paid him $20 million too. But Amari Cooper would everybody know he wasn't worth $20 million. And some people might think Gallaudets isn't worth $20 million, but he damn sure worth more than Amari Cooper. So
yeah, but I mean, here's the thing with that though, Damo. That's a perfect scenario though. Is they paid Amari Cooper $100 million, and
they had to.
But here's the thing: you had Zeke, you had a good ground game, you have good offensive line, and now they literally aren't even able to pay Dak. Dak led the league in passing yards for even after he missed 2 games. He was in the top 5 for freaking passing yards with his ankle injury. Look how bad the Cowboys' offense went with Dak compared to without Dak. But they invested $100 million in stupid Amari Cooper. You got Michael Gallup. You got Michael Gallup and CD
Dak what Dak wants. They can pay him. They offered him a contract. And Dak turned it down.
Look, man, all I'm saying is when you invest too much in a position like that, you end up getting burnt time and time again. So,
and you see very successful teams not doing it as well. And you're questioning, well, how come the shitty teams are doing it and the good teams aren't? And why are we doing it then? Because
I mean,
my big thing is
bring up an example of some team doing that. Y'all always got some excuse or some caveat. Always.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like if I bring up the Chiefs, you're gonna say, well, this and that. And if I bring
he wasn't paid yet. He wasn't paid, so he was cheap.
I'm gonna just put it simple. When DK Metcalf is up, is he getting paid?
I swear, JMO, you read my mind, bro. I swear, that was the sentence I was about to say.
Over $20 million.
That was I was like, I can't wait to see what the Seahawks do once his time is up. Are they gonna pay him that big deal? Because they're a team that hasn't. They're a team that hasn't been doing that, and they've been very successful by not allocating money there. Man.
I bet you they just paid Russell Wilson too much, even though he's way more valuable. But I bet you they paid D. I don't got a doubt in my mind.
I don't either.
He's gonna pay him off of pressure from the outside NFL world alone. Like
100%. But how are they going to do after that? Are they still going to be Super Bowl contenders? That's the real question. Are they still going to be Super Bowl contenders afterwards?
That will be interesting because they do have one of the.
Did you say they're not Super Bowl contenders now?
I said, are they Super Bowl contenders now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Hell yeah.
Are they? I just think they're a great offense with a terrible defense. That's what they look like.
I mean, they are. Their defense is literally historically bad.
I don't think they can
pass defense. But dude, you got Pete Carroll, you got Russell Wilson, and Lockett and Metcalf are tearing it up. So their defense has enough playmakers.
Seahawks are always in the playoffs, and they haven't been able to get over the hump, even with Russell Wilson and stuff afterwards, and they have better defenses. But
that defense is almost repeat.
Terrible.
They almost repeated. Like what do you mean?
No, what I mean is the next year they had a good football team. They lost to Atlanta, and then the next year they didn't make the playoffs. Then the next year after that they lost to Green Bay, and then they lost to Dallas. And to me, they didn't have Metcalf, but those teams, keyword team, were better. And so that's why we're going to see Russell's going to have to literally drop 40 in the playoffs. And you know what type of team you're going up against in the playoffs. Like, is he going to drop 40 on the Saints defense?
He's so fun to watch, man. Oh,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, part of the thing, though, JMO, too, is like, when they were in cap hell for a second, when the Legion boom and all that, they were in cap hell, and they still were able to maintain a good team even without that. So it shows you how good Russell Wilson is that you lost the entire Legion of Boom. Their O-line went to shit. I mean, their offensive line was okay, and it went to literally bottom of the league. And they're still producing. You draft a young, talented guy. You bring in Jamal Adams. They have a couple playmakers on the D-line, but everyone's hurt. So a lot of that is attributed to injuries and their season-ending injuries. So I'll be interested to see what they can do if their team can stay healthy for once.
Well, they were the perfect example of allocating a ton of money to their defense in the Legion of Boom, and then really throwing scraps to get who was Lockett before before he became Lockett, right? He was nobody. When was he even drafted? I don't even know. Who was Golden Tate?
No, he was undrafted. I think he was
right.
But Lockett
that's
wasn't part of it. He wasn't part of the Legion of Boom.
Oh, right. Okay. Who was it? I forget. Who was with Golden Tate?
Doug Baldwin.
Doug Baldwin. Right. Even him, they didn't really pay him, right? He was cheap.
He got paid. I don't know what he got paid. To me, he was a disrespected receiver. Because Doug Baldwin, when people be like, Russell Wilson never had a receiver over, so I'm like, bro, y'all act like Doug Baldwin wasn't like a complete monster. Like,
Right, but
Baldwin was
if
he
good,
wasn't
dude.
paid though.
if
He
you
wasn't
threw
paid.
him the ball, he's catching that boy. Like Doug Baldwin was such a good receiver. So
Right.
I don't know.
Well, Baldwin's good, dude, but like they have freaking DK Metcalf. He's definitely the best receiver Wilson has had, so it's gonna be real interesting.
Let me see.
Right.
Make sure you guys drop some questions. If you have any more questions, drop them in the chat and like the video if you haven't already, y'all.
Yeah, well, guys, honestly, we were trying to hit an hour. We were trying to make this a shorter show, and thank you guys for showing up. You guys are always awesome. You guys in the chat every Tuesday and Thursday. You guys are always there. So thank you guys so much. And we've hit an hour, so we're gonna say our goodbyes to the people in the chat. Why don't we start off with you, Andrew?
Yeah, I just gotta say, y'all gotta stop feeding into JMO on this Gallaudets thing. And I swear to God, if I see one more thing saying to draft Tua, I'm gonna lose it. Okay, there's 1,000 reasons why we shouldn't have drafted Tua, and no quarterback is gonna come in and fix this. Okay, so you guys need to stop with this crap.
All right, JMO, why don't you say your goodbyes to the people in the chat, man?
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat, and I just want to let you guys know that you make sure, man, do not listen to Andrew about this Gallaudets thing. You don't know what he's talking about. You draft a guy in the third round, and he outpays his contract. He's the best in the league at what he does, and the team struggles to win games without him. That's a guy that you have to pay. But besides that, Lions, I want y'all to shock me this week, and I mean that in the most funny way possible. Shock me by losing. So we can because it would shock me, even though you guys think we're not special, but it would shock me. Shock me by losing, so I can just laugh and just look at the headlines for Matt Patricia to be fired. Like, it would be fun, but at the end of the day, as I say always, just watch the game and pay Kenny Gallaudets.
100%. Yeah. Again, thank you guys in the chat. Izzy777 had a last quick question. Who do you pick for GM? You said it, man. Only Peyton Manning can fix this team, man.
I'm picking Louis Riddick because Louis Riddick literally knows that Stafford hasn't been surrounded by anything, and it is documented that he said Stafford has literally been trashed. So I need somebody who knows what Stafford going through.
That's a bold pick. That's a bold pick. No, not yet, man. Let him get some experience.
No, I'm about to say Louis Riddick. He's actually qualified and actually has been up for GM jobs before. That's the guy.
Yeah, not Chris Spielman either, man. We can't just let any no. All right. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much, and make sure you subscribe to everybody in the DSA. Make sure you subscribe to JMO, and definitely, if you're a real Detroit Lions fan, hit that subscribe button. And we are out.